Just about did it. If I hadn't have noticed that, and that's what's happened before. So if that doesn't happen, bud, there's nothing here. How would you like to do that? I call you next week and say, hey, Danny, everything we talked about, not there.
Well, then it must not meant to have gotten out then.
I mean, that's happened several times.
Yeah.
Like you just forget. You sit down, you saw how easy it was.
Oh, yeah.
You just forget. Now, like I was telling you, if you're playing in a music gig, you pick up that real quick because you hear it, you know, whatever. Here, it's just out there.
Yeah. Well, don't feel bad. I've gone to Walmart 3 times in the last 24 hours because I keep forgetting toilet paper. So,
how old are you?
51.
You're 51. You're a little older than me. I'll be 44 here in a couple weeks or a couple months. You think that's just age? I mean, it's either that or it's my past. I ain't real sure.
Well, I don't know. I got 2 things working. I got several things working against me, so I don't think it's age. One is I don't drink enough water. 2, I have a grandchild I'm raising, and I'm working like 3 jobs and hustling. My life revolves around a Google Calendar right now, which is pitiful.
Yeah.
But I ain't mad at it, but sometimes, you know.
It's one of those spots in life.
Yeah. And
how you handling that at 51?
Oh, it's crazy.
Right. Got its days, I bet, don't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it all over again and by myself.
Doing what you were doing at 25 or 30 or whatever, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is it like an interruption? Like, not an interruption, but is it like is it an unscheduled event, you know, so to speak, of Danny Hines' life? You weren't thinking it was going to do this?
Yeah, we're jumping right in deep already.
Hey, go for it.
But yeah, you know, it's the right thing to do. I had to intervene because of a child's actions. She's gotten straightened around, which is good now. Yep. But I have custody, and then after that emergency custody took place, there was probably a couple years there. That's been about 3 years now that, you know, I've ended up. Is that better? About 3 years now. Went through divorce after 28 years, so I can start life all over again with a 6-year-old now attached.
Ooh, there's a hand of the deck you know that you weren't thinking about 20 years ago, was it?
Nope. But it's
So wait a minute, let's back up. So divorce after 28 years. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Along with raising a how old person?
She's 6 now. Yeah.
6.
Yeah. So,
ooh,
me and her been like this since she was 3.
Yeah.
And you know, I get to schedule visitation with everybody, trying to coordinate that. I got 3 adult kids, so everybody wants to say, "Hey, I want to see Hensley." Well, why don't you make it to the coffee shop and you help me out a little bit? And we'll meet. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think, you know, it's like, no, it's not scheduled, but there's some joy in that because it is a lot of fun.
It's keeping you young.
Yeah.
Or making you old quicker.
Right. I think maybe the exterior hasn't caught up yet, but the interior is feeling it. And
I'd say you're probably at 51. I mean, you know, my son is 11 and I'm 44, and I have trouble sometimes, like, you know, I'm going on like, what do I want to say, culture, you know, but like I have trouble with the bros, the skibbities.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're in that phase right now. You know, there's Riz, you know, all these new slang words of this current. So I can imagine that. Now I assume you're a fairly technical guy as far as, you know, toys, electronics and stuff, but I'd say you haven't hit it yet, but that's what's coming next, I'd say. After 6 years old.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's already like, "Oh, what, the Sigma?" I'm like,
"Oh, yeah." And I'm like, "What?"
You're 6, you know? Yeah, and she doesn't have too many years to go to get like.
Yeah, she's there. If she's doing that, she's there. You're in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that an adjustment for you at 51?
Yeah, the language.
Well, just the overall. I mean, because you have to be open minded, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like,
is there any rigidity you might think in your mind, like, "Hey, this is how my life's going to go, and here's what I plan on for empty nesting," and then it gets flipped upside down? And I would say at this point, there's a point where that you feel like your whole world turns upside down. That's not what you had planned, But if you don't, for me, and I would say with many others, you're going to have to find something to hang on to, whether it's something spiritual or whatever, to hang on to reconcile that, right? And then have some peace about it, because I ain't got time to be angry about it for the next few decades till I die. I got too much stuff to do, you know what I mean? And that's a big one.
So what'd you hang on to, the music?
Music, some spiritual stuff, and music was kind of, I really got into more writing. I have a studio at home, and I really got into writing a little bit, and it was very therapeutic, I would say.
I'd say.
And simultaneously, again, it doesn't make no sense. My life's not like everybody's, but you have your whole world flipped upside down, and you feel like, well, this doesn't make any sense. How's this all going to work out? And you still are like restarting or starting over, and then you kind of come to grips with some things and have some peace, and you just feel like, well, let's be. Am I there? Oh, let's be present minded. That's a big thing, man. I'm worried about tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But I can't be worried. I got to be present.
It dwells.
Oh yeah. So once I began to be present minded, some of that anxiety dissipated, and I really started to see some things happen. And so, yeah, I really hung on to writing some music, which was therapeutic. And I thought, well, this is a way to create a legacy for my kids or my grandchild to listen or whatever. And all of a sudden, it just like I had this opportunity to do a gig, and things have exploded. I've been down here several times, but my calendar. This December 2025 has bookings.
Yeah. You're probably doing at least 40 shows.
Yeah, I'm 4 to 6 a month all the way through the year. I could do more.
You could do more. Yeah, you're turning them down.
Yeah, as I got responsibilities.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you can't do them all, but still. So you're doing 4 or 5 months. So you still got. Yeah, you're doing 40 shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
40, 50 shows.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but we're getting ready to start softball with the little one. We'll see how that goes.
You know, I picked up a couple gigs here and there. I used to play. You know, you and I don't even know each other really, but I used to play a lot. And just like you just said, you know, so you got softball coming up and stuff. And that was whenever I really had to make the choice on, and you know, if you need somebody during that time, give me a call, because that, you know, that's, I probably did some things wrong whenever I was leaving that life the first time. Like, you know, like I probably should have went out a little happier than I did the first time. Not that I was anything big, but it was my hobby, right? It was my passion. That's what I love to do. But I got so burnt out, and I got so like I just wanted a break. I just needed a break, you know. But I'd been playing, you know, 50, 60, 70 shows a year for 10 years, you know, and I mean, nothing major, just, you know, just like what you're doing, just local kind of tour, you know, you don't realize it, but you pick up like 5 or 6 steady gigs, and next thing you know, you're playing 50 shows a year. You know, you can go there once or twice every couple months, and you're there. Right. And, you know, like, you know, you will have to, as that child gets older, you know, and your involvement with it, you will have to probably, and Gibson was, Gibson, my son, you know, he's named after a guitar, and, you know, he would have been 5, 6 whenever I decided to leave gigging. Now I still went into another gig at that point in 2018, but I wish that I would have left a little happier before I got myself burnt out, you know, and like it could happen real easy with you. Like, you know, I can kind of see it in you already. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's great, but I got softball coming up, you know, and it's just kind of that peak of, oh man, there's other stuff to do, you know, because I lost friends, right? They quit inviting you because you're always gigging. Yeah. You know, you can't go to anything. You know, I've had to miss weddings to go play a wedding, you know, and that type of stuff. And boy, that stuff really started just irking at me. It, you know, then just soured me for a long period of time. Now I feel like I'm back and I'm ready to go, just have some fun. I'm not going to do but maybe 5, 6 shows a year, you know, just because I was like, man, I played so hard. I practiced so much to do that, you know, and it's like, I can't give it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I almost did. Like, I was right there. Like, you know, like that time period after I put it down when I quit gigging, I just put it away. I didn't even look at it. Didn't even want to play. I'm talking about guitars, right?
Yeah.
You know? And that's a bad place. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's a great instrument.
I feel like I hit some spot with that when my kids were grown, and there was a point, but I wasn't. There was a point I wasn't doing gigs like that. I'd be lucky to be doing maybe 1 or 2 a year with some friends, just gigging out with a band.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
in the right circumstance and whatever. But now it's a lot different. It's
music scene's different, isn't it, than what it used to be?
Yeah, I feel like even in the last 2 years, even in Chillicothe and the surrounding area, there's more. Like it's blown up with solo acoustic opportunities.
It's all they can pay. You know, you can't. You know, a merchant can't afford to give a band. I'm not saying they can't afford it, but I'm just saying, like,
right.
You know, you could take $1,000 off your Saturday night now. You know, I mean,
yeah, right,
or 1,500, or
yeah,
you know, I mean, you unless you're charging a cover.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way around it.
Yeah. So now, you know, I have a blues band that we kind of. It started out as like a thing, but as a residency at a brewery, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting calls about, hey, can you come play this? And so we're booked at a couple events, but I'm like, oh boy. And then, like we were talking a little bit earlier, then you're getting into schedules. I got that's 6 people in there that I'm dealing with that.
And you're solo.
Yeah.
Because you go book gigs solo.
Right.
You know?
So am I available? Okay. You know, I have some other people. You know, I've got a girlfriend. Her job. You know, we're looking at. Somebody says, "Hey," I get a text. "Hey, can you play? Are you available?" I'll let you know. Let me look. You know, I gotta check my Google Calendar. I gotta double check a spreadsheet that's got some other hours on it. I've got to double check oh, come on, man. How many layers deep are we gonna go with this? You know, but
you could just plan your free weekends.
Play on?
No, just plan your free weekends. Say, I'm not booking anything these weekends. Kind of like a work vacation.
Yes.
You know, the rest of the time you're available.
That's true. That's a great idea. Absolutely.
Now, well, you know, here's the dates of Danny's.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I'd have done that. That was one of the things I wish I'd have done. It was like really just planned my life and then worked the music around it. But man, you know how it is. It just.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, but the money, you can start making that money, you know, and it's like, daggone, man. Yeah, I hate to get, I mean, you know, heck, I was probably making $3-4 a month.
Wow. I need to talk to you a little bit. Like, let's figure out these places.
Not all months, but I mean, you know, there was some hot months, you know, you start doing some weddings and stuff like that. I mean, and so whenever I say I do weddings, like I would go play them and DJ them.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, so that was, you know, that's a big money day, but you're there 14 hours.
You know? Yeah, that's a long day.
Yeah, I mean, your first one there, last one leave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can't do nothing without the music.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I got a friend that DJs, and I just think, ugh.
Well, you know how it was, man. I had all the stuff. You know, it's the same equipment, right? You know, and then I had a guy, shout out, you know, he's passed away now. His name was P-Funk, Ryan Potter. And I had to do like some buddy of mine's wedding. So I called him up and I was like, hey, P-Funk, man. I was like, you know, where do I get some songs? Like, you know, this is back before Spotify. This is back before, you know, and all this. And he gives me a hard drive that had like 40,000 songs on it. And I was like, is this on there? And he's like, yes. And I was like, is this on there? And he's like, yes. He's like, hey, listen, everything's on there. There's 40,000 songs, you know. And I still have that same hard drive, and I've passed that thing on, you know, like every time I've seen like a DJ that needed it, I'd try to give them, you know, here's enough to get you going. This has got the, you know, the Love Shack and everything that you're going to need. If you can't party on this one, it ain't them, it's you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not bad, but that long days, boys. Long days, you know, and then you're doing bridal marches and you're setting up speakers for the preacher. And I mean, it's, you know, a lot of outdoor weddings.
I think I'd rather watch a softball game.
Yeah. Yeah. If I would have probably just stuck to gigging, just playing music for 2 or 3 hours a night, wouldn't have been that bad. But, you know, then, you know, you go to Columbus and do a wedding, well, shit, you're leaving at 9:30 in the morning, getting home at 3 a.m. Oh, brutal. Your buddies will tell you. Long nights, man. Long nights. But yeah, I don't envy your position right now. Yeah, I see you, and I see all your events and stuff, and I think to myself sometimes, like, boy, he's getting after it. He's playing a lot.
Yeah, I think you know, I've watched it last year. It was kind of 2 to 3 gigs that's where it hovered monthly. And then I picked up some other commitments, some standing, gigs monthly at some, like an open mic thing. I'm coordinating, but it's paid.
Yeah.
Things like that. And now all of a sudden there's not a lot of wiggle room for extra, and I'm hitting that 4 to 6. And there was a month, I think it was October, maybe December, I don't know, but I was hitting around more than 4.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I think 4 is my happy place.
Yeah.
I don't know about 6 all the time, but I don't know. One of those things now, because I'm really, my background is, electric. So there's solo acoustic. I got into playing acoustic guitar mainly probably, I don't know, 4 years ago or something.
Okay.
5 years ago, gigging out and started doing all that. And then this opportunity with this band to put together and play electric, I'm like, so I'll add that. I think,
I wish I had a good band. A good band. That if you're jiving with that crew, then stick with them, because that's hard to replace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something about them drums and that electric, ain't there?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an acoustic solo guy too, but man, that you throw in that electric behind there and just that drive. I don't know what it is.
And the harmonic. I mean, we got that set up. There's 3 guitar players, a bass player,
got like a sax
harmonica.
or anything. Yeah, harmonica. You got some horn, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever you will call it.
A mouth horn. What do they call it? Anyway, got some dude playing, like pedal steel, not pedal steel, lap steel.
Lap steel.
One of the guitar players plays pedal steel. He hasn't really broke that out much, but then drummer, but it's a big ensemble.
I probably know a few of them if they're from Chillicothe.
They are.
Probably, yeah, at some point or another. Yeah, I know. I used to play a lot with Dwayne Whalen over there. You probably know Dwayne.
Yep, I've met him.
Yep, great steel guitar player.
Yeah.
I played. Man, you used to talk about those gigs. You remember Bart Wiseman? We talked about him a lot on the pod. Did you ever meet Bart?
I don't know if that name sounds familiar. I don't know if I met him.
You missed out. He was just flat ass entertainer. Okay, he could do it all. Right? He was a phenomenal just front man. He could play. Up and down, anything you want. He's very bluesy. He could rock you with 90s alternative punk, or he could just get down and dirty with some Merle Haggard and some Travis. Just anything that you want to hear, the guy could do. Right? He was a walking jukebox and played it well.
Yeah.
And we played in a band together. Me, him, Jeremy Rupert, Mike Thompson. And we started playing we played one. I'll never forget this. I've talked about it before. We started playing on Tuesday, right after work. We had a gig. We played one gig on Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 gigs on Thursday, I'm on Thursday, a gig on Friday night, 2 gigs on Saturday, and finished up Sunday morning at a church. We played or Sunday afternoon. We had to get there after the service and play like some birthday party or something after the thing. And I hated music so bad at that week. My clothes and my body just smelled like cigarettes and whiskey. And I just knew that my life was going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take those days back for nothing. But woo, that was brutal, bud.
I need to know if you recognize that early on, or if it was at the birthday party you finally recognized that.
At the birthday party, I looked over at my drummer and I thought he was going to faint.
Yeah, his
body had give out. There's a picture of us that day, and he looks like a piece of chalk. Just the life is sucked right out of him.
That's awesome.
Oh gosh, it was what a wild time. But I couldn't do it at this age. No way. I see these guys, these pro guys, and they're out there like, hey, they can hate on them all they want to, but dude, can you imagine that? Can you imagine I'm gonna mention this guy. Can you imagine being Garth Brooks? Whenever he does one of them, 75 tour, he'll do 2 or 3 nights at a place.
Yeah.
And the energy that guy runs around the stage with for 3 hours.
Oh, it's legit.
Oh, wow.
That's like, I like country, but I like rock as well. And I really like that group Shinedown.
Yeah.
That guy is a great vocalist, and they'll tour for, a year and a half. And you just think and I've seen him, but you think 2.5 hours a night, 5 nights a week.
For a year and a half.
Yeah.
Imagine if you just said right now, you went home to your family and you said, whoever it is, your friends, your family, you went home to your calendar and you said, hey, next year and a half, I'm out. Except for these dates. I'll be back these dates. I'm sure they come back, right? I mean, they probably do what? 6 weeks at a time, you think? 4 weeks?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. They're probably of stature where they'd take the family, but
probably.
Like the curious thing, I think reading in an interview like that singer, they're gone on the road so much that he doesn't own a home. He says, what's the point? So I'm sure he's got some little apartment thing or grandma suite somewhere, somebody. But I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Well, where's your mail get delivered, bro? Like, oh, yeah, that's right. You probably don't have any bills. But the Maserati looks nice. But
he's probably got an LLC somewhere of somebody that handles all of his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And just takes care of all the bills and everything. That's how those guys get took on their money, is they usually let the wrong person handle it.
Right.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Would you want that life? I never did think I would.
I like telling stories, so it might be worth it just to do it one time.
Yes. But I mean,
the collateral damage that would ensue because of my yes, I don't know. There's lots of things that could go south quick.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. You see, I love to see. I was watching a thing today about Vince Gill and the Eagles, or I was reading it or something. It was Vince Gill. He wanted to go be an Eagle. Like he was playing a song on stage one time, or like in a warm up, and it was one of his old Vince Gill songs, right? And he got to the point, or he was playing it, and Don Henley goes, "Hey, what's that?" And Vince Gill goes, "Oh, this is something I recorded 15 years ago or something. I said I did this 20 years ago." Don Henley goes, "We need to rework that, and we need to do it with this." And Vince goes out, respectfully, but no thanks, and because Vince Gill said he just wanted to be an Eagle, right? Like he didn't want to mix Vince Gill with the Eagles. He just wanted to go do Eagle stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Because he didn't want to water down the show. Not that it was watered down, but those people came to see the Eagles, not Vince Gill.
Right.
Right. And I thought, man, there's a guy right there that, in my opinion, think of all the guys that I've remembered over the years, but Vince Gill has always stayed musically connected, but he's also still lived his life. You see him about 3 times a year, and the rest of the time that cat's just out on his property.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, that's the goal.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, but I'm sure he spent a lot of time on the road. Do you think back in the 80s and 90s, those guys had to go out like they do now because they could sell records back in?
Yeah. I don't
see now that's where their money is.
I mean, he's a studio cat too, so maybe it's a source of revenue as well. I don't know. Yeah. That is kind of interesting when you think about the structure of that, when you got, material merchant, physical sales.
Back in our day, you could, a CD cost you what, $19.99, $21.99 for a CD back, even in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So then you take that revenue away on Spotify and Apple. I mean, it's
huge.
So now that's why I think you see those big tours now. And
absolutely, yeah. That's their money maker.
That's how they have to make their money now.
Yeah.
I
think there's, have you read that Brothers book? I know it's a rock kind of thing, but
no.
Alex Van Halen, his take on his brother Eddie. It's interesting when they talk about some of their family history. It's a fascinating book, a fascinating read. I would say the highlights for me is listening firsthand. I listened to the audiobook, so it's in his voice, which is cool. But talking about, I didn't realize they were immigrants. Like they came from
the Van Halens.
Yeah.
I think I did know that.
But coming as immigrants and then achieving what they achieved, but having to go out on tour, and not
where were they from?
Netherlands, I think.
Netherlands.
Yeah, I believe. And just you think all the touring, but somebody else is pulling the purse strings, so you think you're making mad money out there, but you're not. And then the people that have been at it for a while, that have things structured correctly, that are out making money, are hitting it hard to make huge revenue. Unless they're doing a Vegas residency or something like that,
Which still must pay pretty good, otherwise you wouldn't see people doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. yeah, I think there's enough of it that's been done that you can figure that. Like, I think that you can figure out that the spreadsheet on expenses to make sure you're profitable.
Yeah,
but yeah, because you're right. You take away, physical album sales, the revenue from that. You've got merchandise, which has always been a thing. Now that go to a concert, and when I go, I see T-shirts $55. I understand why, but it's helped to subsidize some of that as some revenue. But man,
are you from Chillicothe?
I was born. Then we moved. When I was in elementary school, we moved up to Urbana.
Okay. Do you remember? You probably don't remember this, but there used to be a record store right next to this building called Criminal Records.
Criminal Records.
It wasn't. I shouldn't say it was huge, but it was a very sweet boutique style music store. So like I remember like I bought the bootleg Pearl Jam and
okay.
But I mean you could also go in and down there and buy Vanilla Ice and DMX. I mean it was the music store. You'd fan through the names and the genres and all that stuff. Just perfect, right? Just exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I can remember, like, my school shopping back in the day, I would go there to buy my rock T-shirts and stuff, like my Pearl Jam shirt, my Tool shirt, my Pantera. And for some reason back in the day, you thought that money, and I assumed it was, I assume it still is, you just knew that whenever you bought that band's T-shirt, you were supporting that band. Well, now everybody and their brother's got a Cricket.
Yeah.
And they can make their own shirts or sell their own shirts with your stuff on it. And there's just so many of them now that it's unpoliceable. But like, remember that Pearl Jam bootleg, and they'd have those bootleg copies of stuff. Well, now that's just called a mashup on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
That's
crazy, isn't it?
Isn't that nuts? Like to think of how just the entire industry just went.
Oh yeah. Well, I have heard some discussion about how even attention spans, because we're on social media, everything's affected everybody neurologically, and so now instead of having a 4-minute song here on the radio, they have to hit 2 minutes 30 seconds max. Like, especially if you're doing like, I noticed this because of my set list. Like I do some 80s covers
that are long,
and there's always a third verse. Lots of times there's always a third verse in those songs. Well, you would not be caught dead. Now you got this, what they call Nashville thing, where you got a first verse and a half of a second.
A bridge.
And that's it with the choruses. But anything to squeeze that down, you think it's for the consumer, right?
But there's probably as many words in that new country song as what there is in that rock song.
Yeah, because
they're trying to get 100 syllables a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fact. I mean, that's they go. There's I don't know if it's 100, but there's a metric of syllables that they're trying to.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
but you think like, wow, between that and like the Spotify and the streaming and all that, how an industry has changed, and it's changed.
Ticket sales.
Oh yeah. And the indie guy, I'm on Spotify. I got a home studio. I got 3 albums worth of material all on
Spotify.
Yeah.
You got your own Spotify channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it levels the playing field in that way. No one's making any revenue, but
Yeah.
But there are other opportunities and things,
we make ad money on Spotify and Apple. I mean, and it's kind of. It's what I've noticed. I mean, I guess we can kind of go into this direction, but whatever you want to talk about, it's fine with me. This has been an ongoing thing. As you noticed, I put on Facebook, and I put a social media post. That was actually AI that did that, by the way. And so,
nice.
And wanting guests, I just told AI to make me a post about guests and put it up there. So, We've had a few videos on TikTok that have gotten a couple million views. Had a couple on Instagram. Got one on Instagram. It's got like 5 million almost, or 4 million. It's 4. The video has a total of 6 million, and 4 million of those views are on Instagram. Nothing right. There's people doing that every day, right? But that does generate some stuff, right? Whenever you catch one like that does get a couple million views, that comes along with stuff, followers and people talking to you and stuff. So what we've noticed is, like, with our channel, and like, we really don't do this to make money. Like, we just enjoy doing podcasts. It's me and Chad, we're just old buddies. But the more active we are, right? Like, the more gigs you do, the more that you have those little pops, and like it would be great just to build it up to a point at some point where all of them did a pop. Like there's certain people out there that just every video they throw out there is good for at least 100,000 views. Now you're starting to move the needle a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now you're starting to get some ad money rolling in. You're starting to get some sponsor money rolling in. Well, it seems to be that, like, and then now you go to, well, what platform do you want it on? Do you want it on YouTube? Do you want it on Spotify? Do you want it on Apple? So you almost have to tailor a thing to each one of them. Now, I love the internet business as far as that goes. Like, I'm very intrigued by it. I love it. It's fun. But, woo, it's a lot of work, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, just even what you just said. I mean, each of those platforms have their own algorithm that you got to play to.
Yeah, you can't. These people that just put the same videos, and I'm guilty of it too. We just put the same videos on. I mean, that's just dead. That's dead noise right there. It doesn't really do anything.
Hey guys, while we're paying the bills, let's talk about one of our oldest sponsors that's been with us since the beginning. Geiger Brothers. Geiger Brothers is headquartered in Jackson, Ohio, with offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Knoxville, Tennessee. We provide construction services in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. A veteran and dynamic staff of talented people, symbolic of our 100-year history of success, gives Geiger Brothers a distinct advantage. Leveraging that experience for our customers allows us the ability to provide consistent and superior performance for their construction, engineering, and fabrication needs. And hey, we've had several of these guys on our shows. Scott Massey, Kyle Hickey, Shay Meredith, just to name a few. Go back, look through some of the old episodes and get to know them. It's a great group of people that have been with us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. So enjoy tonight's show, courtesy of Geiger Brothers here in Jackson.
Yeah, I think that's clever. It makes me wonder about the AI. Like, sometimes I think that when we have tools like that they provide, like AI, they'll get more traction just than a normal post.
Look how many people I got recommended to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like, well, hey, AI, tell me, promote my gig on blah, blah, blah.
He'll do it.
Because it's going to feed in already knows the algorithm. You know what I mean?
It's going to do it.
I don't need to know the algorithm. Just do it for me.
100%. And there's an app, like I have 2 or 3 AI apps on my phone, but there's AI apps that if you said, hey, I want an AI app that teaches me how to play guitar. Mm-hmm. There's one out there. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want an AI app that makes all my social media posts on Facebook.
Yeah,
it's out there. You just got to download it and then see if you like it.
Yeah,
it'll, like we was talking about changing camera angles and all that stuff before.
Right.
It'll do all that. Yeah.
Have you encountered the? I'm not sure if it's a plug-in or what it is, but have you encountered the whole like AI like singer for a track? Trying to explain context here. I know a guy, for example, a couple of people,
like a harmonizer.
No, like you can pick. I don't know if you've heard stuff like I've heard on display. Hey, sing this Elvis song, but within the
the voice of DMX.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever is doing some of that or akin to that, you have hold of and be like, hey, sing this melody. I mean, you feed into this some kind of a melody, or you let AI figure it out for you, and then you have this whole melody, but it's being sung and it sounds like Chris Stapleton because that's what they've chose. Hey, I've this track, here with like kind of a Chris Stapleton voice. And I've been played a few of those, and I've listened, and I always can kind of tell there's a little quasi-chorusy kind of
there's
effect,
like just a cutoff, like it doesn't have that sustainability on the sound.
Yeah, it's noticeable a little bit, but you're like, how long until, how long until we get to, I mean, it's those tracks and all that kind of stuff. I've listened to some of that, and it sounds like it could be on, the radio.
Have you used it for any songwriting yet?
I had a gig, last year that, okay, so I've worked with some co-writers. I have one in Ireland, in Dublin, thanks to the internet. We were in some kind of songwriting class thing together, did some work. She reached out and said, hey, I'm working on some projects. I'm more of an admin level, but we need some songs. Music's already done, just need melody and words. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Oh, we need like 12 songs, but we need like in a week. And I'm like, well, if it's my stuff, I want to write lyrics. I got something to say. There's a certain theme or whatever. But I would listen to a track, and she's like, just use ChatGPT. And I said, what? For lyrics? She's like, oh, it'll be fine. Try it. And I said, no way. So it wasn't under my name. I'm just AKA whatever. It's for some song library in Europe or something. I don't even know what's happening to any of this stuff. Who knows? It's probably going to be on some hard drive, and that's it. But anyway, be like, okay, well, this kind of reminds me of Beachy. Hey, ChatGPT, write me a song with 2 verses and a chorus about being on a beach with my bikini babe or whatever. And you're like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm like, this is a nice little hustle.
Put a groove with it and go.
I already had the music was already supplied me, so that's what was the inspiration for the thing. And so I go in and kind of edit, figure out a melody and kind of edit what words worked, what did not, change it, do like a final edit. I record the track, send it off, boom. I had to do harmonies with that gig. So you sing like lead vocal and the harmonies, then send it off, and it's fun.
Yeah, I've used it, to write stuff. Now, nothing that I'm going to sit there and call mine, but I've used it in the living room, sitting there, like, hey, write me a 2-chord, 2-verse and a bridge country song, with the temp on 4/4 beat or something, and it'll do it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I have read where some like Nashville writers are using AI for some inspiration. So
I thought, man, it gives you a good base. Like if you're in one of those writers like blocks, and you're like, man, what can I just say? Hey, write me a country song about the hottest thing out right now.
Yeah.
Or something, and just break it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also think too, all your songs will sound the same after a while.
Right.
I get into that habit pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of little fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm anxious. I had a booking agent that I used to work with a long time ago. Just call me out of the blue and say, hey, you got any open dates? And it's like he didn't even know I was out of it. I was like, yeah, what you got? And he goes, I got the blah blah blah, and I'm playing it. It's like a little B-dubs thing. You just do a little B-dub circuit, really? Which I used to do, which I thought was great because it's an early night.
Oh, nice.
You'll be 6 to 9, 7 to 10, something like that.
That's good.
And there, you're always just there. You don't have to do much. You just gotta show up and play. So it's AC heat. You don't have to worry about the weather.
Cigarettes.
I don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah. So you typically it's a cool little gig. I did it before. I did it for years before. So I always liked those. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using some of that AI stuff to, you see what I play out of, that Bose tower right there beside you.
Oh, yeah.
And, those things, I went to Guitar Center the other day, and I was looking just to enhance some stuff, I geek out on that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, man, that thing pretty well does it all. Like, I don't have to get much. Like, I was going to buy a pedal or something, just nothing jumped out at me that I thought, well, man, this thing sounds as good as I need it to. This new stuff, you remember all the stuff you used to have to pack, the heaviness?
The road cases.
Oh.
And the insistence upon the, whatever they were, 18-inch subs.
Oh.
One for each side. You know what I mean? Just the tower of monstrosity of.
The cords. Now Bluetooth.
and the crazy snakes with all the, oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That
part's gotten better too.
Oh yeah. I've got an Eevee version of something.
Okay.
Like that,
yeah.
And they have an Evolve, I think it is.
I played that at the Prohibition up there one time.
Okay.
They had like a house set or something, I think.
Okay.
I played one of them.
Yeah, they're nice. They got, you can do chorus and verb on it or something, chorus delay. It's like you can't control tempo on nothing, but for a little ambience for vocals and all that. So I just plug straight in with mic. I just plug straight in my guitar. I don't even have anything. I've got a Martin I use, and that's all good.
Yep, that's what I do. I make sure I got a good mic, good chords, good guitar.
Yeah.
I love the way my Gibson sound. I use the app on my phone.
Oh yeah,
and I can adjust all that stuff. So yeah, man. So when's your next gig? Probably this weekend.
Yeah, Friday I'm playing at Old Capitol Brewing in downtown Chillicothe.
Okay.
So that's a 7 to 10 gig.
There you go. Easy.
Yep, not too bad. I like that time. I don't like them late ones, but yeah, and that one's kind of I enjoy playing there. It's a little nostalgic, I guess, for me. Those guys set that place up, and I was kind of into, at the time I was kind of messing around with home brewing, and so they let me kind of hang out a little bit there. And then once they started doing live music, they contacted me, and I had done something with a group for a little while, but eventually they were like, "Hey, you want to come in and do a solo thing?" And I was like, "Man." This was like 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah. And nervous as all get out because on acoustic, as opposed to any other ensemble or whatever, I just feel naked,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And make sure I got enough material. I was kind of nervous, whatever. It went well. And then that's like on my timeline of that particular instance, that evening, that gig, everything just started.
Your life changed.
Yeah. I mean, that's dramatized a little bit.
It is, but no, it did.
But it did. It exploded, and then that led into all the stuff, and boom, boom, boom. It's crazy. So,
if you were a young kid right now, I tell a lot of people this, if you were a young, like, you liked music and like that was your jam, like, you're in a band, you ain't even got to be in a band. Just if you like to play guitar and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You could literally just make a living just going around gigging. Like, the money you could make for being like 18 would be tremendous. And you'd probably, it'd introduce you to a lot of trouble. I always tell my buddies whenever their kids start playing, I'm like, now, you understand what this is going to do, right? Like, there's going to be times that that he's going to be in some spots that you're not going to want him in,
Yeah, right.
It may be, it depends on how they're doing it, but.
Yeah. It's got that potential.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I will say this brewery thing versus now you can go to places that still play some bars, but like the breweries and like, the B-dubs, they're a little bit low key fun, more just room fun as of a party.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I think my son just brought this up the other day. He's the youngest of my 3 kids. He's getting ready to turn 23, but so I'm trying to think how many years ago this was. He had been like a teenager, and I played at this bar, but I squeezed him in because it was like daylight hours. We were doing some kind of thing and got hired to open up for this, whatever, for a festival. This dude was so lit. He's like, "Dad, you remember that guy at the bar?"
He remembers it, don't he?
Oh, he does. He's like, and he took his shirt off and was like belly dancing or something. And this guy was probably, I don't know, 65 years old, and he was out of his gourd. He was enjoying life, had no idea he was a spectacle, and that he was...
Some kid was going to remember it the rest of his life.
That he was going to induce trauma, that was going to need therapy, but, he was just out there giving it the business. And I said, yeah, I remember that guy, So it's funny.
I remember the first time I ever seen a joint. I was probably 11, 12. And my dad and a bunch of us went down to David Lee Roth.
Oh,
my stepsister was like wanting to go or something. I don't know why we were there, but it was Huntington. Is it Huntington or Ashland down on like Raleigh on the river?
Uh-huh.
And David Lee Roth was down there, and I can remember knowing him now. I bet it twisted at him at the gut to turn it down, but the guy turns around to my dad and says, "Here, Deacon," because I was right there. It's like, I bet you'd have grabbed it if I wasn't here.
Yeah, you run into some stuff.
And I can remember smelling it and be like, oh, and this would have been like Probably. If I was 11, it'd been like 92, 93, probably.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. I was playing Chillicothe one night and a guy got stabbed out in the parking lot.
That sounds like a good time.
I won't tell you the bar. It's still there. Yeah. But, yeah, I always thought Chillicothe was one of the roughest places. Like, you know, I'm glad the breweries are making their move there, give you some calm atmospheres. Because, like, whenever you were playing the old local bars, they can get pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the backstage?
Oh, yeah.
That place was
I played there once, but fortunately, I think when I did, it was for, like one of them fundraisers to help with the medical bills for whatever. So people weren't ramped up about whatever to.
What is that now?
Dude, so that right now, that same entrance is the Mighty Kids Museum.
Wow. Okay.
Talk about about face.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out. You know, I quit going there when I was 27, 28 years old, probably. You know, I mean, that place probably been pushed or shut down, 15 years, 20?
Probably. Yeah, 15 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. That place was rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, it was always a fun place to play Chillicothe, but it was a wild card.
Yes.
You know? It's like playing Southern Columbus. Yeah, Southern Columbus was that way too. You got Northern Columbus, you know, you're playing to breweries and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Not in Grove City. That ain't their job. That ain't their jam down there.
Yeah.
You know.
Grove Tucky.
Yeah, they're a little bit different. And it's all very West Virginia-ish. You know, like that's just the vibe I get. You know, it's like, you know, they're like me. They're just country people, just rednecks, you know, big for the most part. Fun crowds, but don't be surprised if somebody doesn't get shot.
Yeah. That's so funny. I had a drummer friend that he just moved to Dayton, I think, but he used to, for a long time, live in Grove City, and he was like, yeah, up in Grove Tucky, and I just thought he was just messing around, but apparently that was for a reason.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they were, you know, like I said, great people, funnest gigs you ever play, but just there will be a fight. You know, somebody will get hurt. You know, there'll be drama. You know, you know, and you don't get that at those brewery gigs and stuff. Like it's a little different vibe.
They're a little more. What's that line from Brother Where Art Thou? They're a little more bona fide.
Yeah.
At a brewery.
I wish that like the. I wish that songwriting would. Get, I don't want to say respect. It does. However, you know, it's hard down here to put on like a true singer-songwriter event and people not pretend it's a party. Like, you know, if you go to Nashville and you go to a singer-songwriter event, you're expected to be quiet.
Yeah. I think there was one that just occurred. It's actually that same corner. So the back, where the backstage was, and the front was, I don't know but it's a coffee shop now.
Okay.
And they have a liquor license for Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, Paper City Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Page, I think they just had a songwriting event like a week ago. I wasn't able to attend. It seemed like it went well, but that place, I think is conducive to more clientele that would be quiet for.
Yeah.
Not as rowdy, so that might be a good spot. But yeah, and it's tough. Like I don't know. There's
places that are conducive to it.
Yeah,
but there's places that's a great point that you make right there. That coffee shop kind of levels that out a little bit. If you take that to the local honky tonk, that's tough.
Oh yeah,
you know they're there to party.
Yeah, and I just think it's probably personality types.
Yeah.
You know, it's the different. You know, the honky tonk. Those people are wired in such a way with personalities to be loud and obnoxious because that's their release for their stressful week. I don't know.
Yeah. In the same way with those coffee shops, it's just a different demographic of people.
Yeah,
that's kicking off the dust. You know, or kicking off the work week blues. You drink much? You a drinker?
You know, I enjoy myself some bourbon.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Wait a minute, maybe it's this weekend. So I have that gig Friday, and then Saturday, one of my brewery friends got me tickets, and so we're going to, it's in Xenia at the Greene County Fairgrounds. There apparently is a bourbon event, and the way he pitched it was like, dude, I've been the last few years, when the tickets go on sale, you can't get in it, and he's like, I'm going to try to, you know, I have a great friend that's really involved in that little circle, try to get us in his table. And so he called me back. He's like, dude, we're there. How many tickets you need? I'll take 2.
Yeah.
So apparently you walk away with a bottle of bourbon. You get a bunch of tastings. It's an evening thing, 5 to 8 or something, 6 to 9. And you might get a free T-shirt. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know much, but I do like me some bourbon. I like some craft beer. Oh, I guess.
Yeah. Are you a snob?
Well, here, let's put it this way. I have a good friend, childhood friend. When we get together, he's all about PBR, man. He will not come off. I'm like, dude, check this out. He's like, wow, I can't do that. So if we go out somewhere and that's what he's got, or his house or whatever, I'm fine. My house, or if I'm going out somewhere, give me something. I don't care if I like trying all kinds of stuff. I enjoy the stouts. I enjoy the IPAs.
Yeah.
I can do some sours. So.
Hey, Chubbies, let's talk about a sponsor that came to us about a year ago, and it's been nothing but smooth sailing ever since, just like it is in their business. And that sponsor is the Kelly Wiley Group of the Keller Williams Capital Partners. The market has now shifted for sellers, and now more than ever, experienced professionalism actually matter. Gone are the days when the agents can just snap some pics with their phone and pop a sign in the yard. Sellers actually deserve more than that. Whether you're selling a $100,000 home or $1 million home, you'll get Kelly Wiley. You'll get Kelly Wiley, an agent that you can trust with more than 16 years of experience and more than 1,500 transactions. Kelly will answer your questions, she'll reduce your stress levels, and she'll help guide you through what we all know is a lengthy process. You get professional photography, you get FAA licensed drone pilots, and you get an in-house marketing team to make your home look amazing to the future buyers. You get a full staff of transaction professionals to make sure that your transaction goes smooth from the beginning to the end. You get reach. They have 3 MLSs to reach out more and more agents, and they can find your house quicker and easier now than ever through those MLSs. And you get a referral network of more than 160,000 Keller Williams agents across the United States to send buyers to see your home. You just can't beat it, guys. These are the reasons why the Kelly Wiley Group is the #1 team in the area. If you want your home sold for the right price and for the highest price possible in the shortest amount of time, guys, call Kelly Wiley today at 740-577-3795. I'm going to say it to you again. If you want your home sold for the highest priced in the shortest amount of time, it's a great deal for everybody. Give Kelly Wiley a call at 740-577-3795, and let's get that listing. Yeah, so you have an acquired taste for what I call the weird beers.
Oh, yeah. I should have asked you before I started vomiting all this information on you.
No, I used to really like them. I tell you what, I've said this many times before, but I haven't had a drink since October.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I'm not nothing bad or nothing. I just, I got to feeling so bad after drinking, and I was like, like the last time I didn't even really drink that much, and I didn't get drunk, but man, the next day my stomach just felt like it was going to blow up, and I was just bloated, and I was like, man, this sucks. Like,
I should preface and say, so I it's fun if I go out to dinner, I'll grab a beer or something, maybe 2. I can't do a lot. I find the same thing with beer all of a sudden. It bloats me. I would rather have bourbon instead because it doesn't.
You just got to watch that bourbon.
I don't know.
That sumbitch will smack you in the face before you know what hit you.
I do know that.
Yeah.
That has happened many a time.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. But
I truly love them. I do. There's nothing I'd enjoy more than you and I just giving her a toast right now. But I think I'm better off if I just don't.
Yeah, you absolutely are.
And I'm not saying I never will again. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, right now I got too much going on. I'm I have to be too productive on a daily basis, just to run my life and to be with my family, that I just can't afford to give up a day for my own stupidity of getting drunk,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't have that kind of luxury. Not,
you don't either.
Yeah. That's like, I'm going to this event, the bourbon event. My girlfriend, she like doesn't mind bourbon. She's like, I'll probably push some your way. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be pushing them down the cliff because I'm coming home to that 60-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, hey, you want to play Uno?
Yeah, I don't want to be that around my kid.
Can't do it.
Nope, I don't want him to see me like that. I'm sure there'll come a day whenever he does see old dad. Probably 2 minutes. I hope not, but it may happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say it won't, but
if it does, you would like to in your mind reserve that for when he gets married or something.
Sure, yeah, and a celebration.
Yeah,
rather than just a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing.
I remember my dad on the Tuesdays always, so they must have been hard days of work for my father on a Tuesday.
It's it's crazy, man. I think everybody's kind of chasing something to fall back on, whether or not it's drinking or exercising or smoking weed or smoking cigarettes or drinking coffee. I think everybody just needs some sort of vice, to occupy their time at our age.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe it's a form of medicating or trying to forget about things that maybe some wrongs that have been done that they don't know how to correct.
Or just that's how they're going to deal with not, dealing with it, or that's, dealing with not dealing with it.
Right.
It's like,
I'm going to choose not to deal with this. Well, you still have made the choice.
Yeah.
Some people don't get that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, I haven't missed the drinking. Now I have missed the taste of bourbon. I'm not going to lie. I really would, but I haven't missed it all. Feeling great. You still going, you still box any?
I
That's
have.
where we originally met, really.
Yeah. Right.
Didn't even know you were a musician. I was going to tell you, I was thinking earlier today, I was like, shit. Like the first time I met you, you were boxing, and I was like a month later, I saw you post something on Facebook or so, like Jason had shared or something of you playing, and I was like, that makes perfect sense. He's a musician. I was like, that I can see that. I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I just saw Dragon the other day. I had some hats made and I gave one to him, and I'm like, you're always running around with stuff here at Chillicothe. Why don't you wear this, bro?
Yeah.
No, all of a sudden here in probably the last half or definitely the last quarter of the year, I got crazy bitter. I had another job to my arsenal of things. I'm trying to get myself learned so I can get this real estate licensing exam taken. And I'm like it's a season right now. It's just so crazy busy. I have maybe one or two opportunities, if that. Maybe once a week I'll have an opportunity, and then it might not happen. You know what I mean? Or it's typically happened. I'm like, oh, my Tuesday's free. They're not open on. It lands on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I have not been very studious about that.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's I took a different job, and I'm over in Athens now. It's hard for me to get over there. I do enjoy going. My son still goes, but
yeah,
it's hard for me to get over there. I've been running a lot lately. Been jogging kind of, and I thought I was going to swear that off at some point in my life, but I'm actually enjoying that again.
No kidding.
Doing the carnivore and feeling like I'm 20. And when I say carnivore, I guess I should say carnivore. I've cut out sugars and I've cut out processed foods. Like all I'm eating is meat.
Yeah.
And like I will have like some, the only thing, and I totally cheating, I guess, I will have just for my dessert fix, I have a very clean protein bar. And that's, but other than that, through the day, it's strictly eggs and meat. I don't drink milk anymore. I don't eat cheese. I don't eat out. I make all my food a couple times a week. Right, yeah. And I'll go home tonight and I'll eat a steak and probably about a half pound of shrimp and probably 2 chicken thighs. And that's what I'll eat. And I tell you what, Danny Hines, I feel like I'm 25.
Really?
I do. I can't, I've done diets like this before. And I'm not going to say it's the carnivore diet as much as it is I've cut out all processed sugars. Like I'm not eating noodles. I'm not eating just a lot of garbage. I'm not eating Cheetos. I'm not eating Cheez-Its. I'm not eating potato chips. I'm not eating my son's Sour Patch Kids. I've cut all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And my sleeping is so much better. I mean, just my entire gut health is just went.
Wow.
Just feel wonderful.
So how long have you been doing that?
January 6th.
No kidding.
Yep.
So we're coming up about
a month.
days.
I'm only down about 13 pounds from when I started, which isn't a ton.
Yeah.
Any minute, though, I could flip and probably drop 20. And that's why I'm just now feeling good enough. And this is the first time I felt good enough in the last couple of years to start jogging again. So it's really changed. It's changed my focus, my daily focus. You hear him talk about that. I 100% will agree with that. Huh. I just did a 50-hour fast, and I haven't experienced energy levels that high in probably 5 or 6 years.
What'd you do for the 50-hour fast?
Water and black coffee.
For 50 hours.
Yeah, I shouldn't say 50 hour. I was planning on a 50-hour fast, and I ended up going about 45.
Yeah.
I jogged, and whenever I got done jogging, I just thought, man, I really wanted to eat. But I will say I had the best energy I've had forever. Just felt just like I was ready to rock, in a good way.
Yeah.
You just, how sometimes your body's just ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's the way I felt. First 24 were tough, tough to go that long. Cause I was really struggling about the first 2 or 3 weeks with not having like a late night scoop of peanut butter or just something sugary and give it to me. I got to have some sugar. Well, now I'm pretty well past that. I'm pretty well good on that. And I've people that know me, I'll go up and down so bad it's not even funny. Like I'm a weight loss competition guy. I have to be in a competition. I'll lose a bunch of weight and I'll gain it all back.
Yeah.
Well, I do think this time I'm a little bit different, and I think it's because of the drinking. Typically, the drinking was my setback.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd get in it, I'd start working out, I'd start doing all that. Me and Chad would have a pod. We'd throw down a fifth of whiskey. We'd order a pizza. We'd get all kinds of food, and then I was just laid up for a couple days. Feeling bad, eating bad, trying to eat a bunch of grease, and the next thing you know, I'm just in that rut again.
Yep.
So I think this time without the drinking and stuff, I should be all right. Biking season's coming up, big mountain biker.
Yeah, I picked up on that. That's pretty cool.
So I'm going to chase that dream again this summer.
That's great.
Yeah.
Not for your late night snacks, but I just was introduced to like not natural peanut butter. It's something I think made in Ohio, like Plain City, but it's just peanuts on the label. Only peanuts. There's nothing else in it. It's kind of thick, but there's no sugars. There's nothing in it whatsoever.
Okay.
So, I mean, protein obviously would be there, and but you're not adding anything else to. It's not bad. I had one with listen, you can tell, but I had some chili last night I made.
Okay.
And I put some peanut butter on a rice cake, and I put that peanut butter on, and it was.
You liked it?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get it?
I'm trying to think if I got that from. I think I had it was at Walmart. I believe I bought it at a Walmart Supercenter, like one of those.
In Chile?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I've never seen it.
We
don't go though. That's anymore. We don't go to the store. We're clickless people.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm getting ready to do a meat thing. I got a buddy, Kyle Fan, and he has this. This is a podcast area right here. And it's produced by Lazy Creek Farms.
Okay.
And so Kyle has his own podcast with Lazy Creek Farms in this room. So he's putting me on this thing where every 2 weeks I'm going to get like X amount of pounds of meat. And it's just going to be like, not mystery boxes. Like I told him, I'm like, hey, I like these type of steaks. I like these type of cuts. I like this, I'm not a big burger guy. Like I don't make a lot of chili. I'm not eating bread. So I'm not making a lot of hamburger. I'm not putting burger in anything other than eggs.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd rather have the cuts of meat as I would ground up burger. So now every 2 weeks I'm getting X amount of pounds just delivered right there to the house.
That's great. What about the burger with the whole leaf lettuce underneath or something?
I'm not eating any lettuce.
I mean, you can eat it for garnish, but Oh, you're not doing any?
No, I don't eat anything other than meat, eggs, and then like at night.
Oh, so no veggies, legit.
None. Yeah, none. I eat shrimp, chicken, salmon, steaks, and I probably eat 10 eggs a day.
Wow.
It's kind of expensive. I've noticed that. But I'm not eating out at all. You know, like we spent the weekend in Columbus last week, and sure, I had a steak. You know, that was it. But yeah, you can go out to eat at a steak joint, but like I'm not going to eat that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But mainly for my gut health. Like I went through a period of time where, dude, I just didn't have good gut health. Like there's pictures of me, and like there's almost like this knot right here. And I don't know if that was like, I don't know. I was sick all the time in my gut.
Wow.
So I feel great now.
That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure it was the processed stuff, though.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So did you do anything to flush that out, or was it just water and black coffee?
On my fast?
Yeah. I mean,
that was just a random.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't the initial launch for.
No.
Oh, okay.
I started doing this. Me and Prater and a bunch of us went over and got in the Bod Pod. And whenever we got in that Bod Pod, you know, I saw my BMI, which I knew was going to be in the mid-30s. So it was like 36. So we always have a competition every January where we try to get our lean muscle mass up and our BMI down.
Okay.
And, you know, hell, Massey, do you know Scott? You know, the one that he's our sponsor, Geiger Brothers. Oh. And he boxes all the time, but he was a great big old guy. And we started these weight loss competitions. Well, he stayed at it. And he's freaking ripped. Like, and he's 60, you know, years old. Pretty much, yeah, and he's jacked. I mean, he's got the arm pump bicep with the vein coming down. So you know, it's been pretty cool to do it. So I'm anxious to see whenever we go. We always do it in January, and then we go back in like March or April, and we see where we stack up. So the last time I did this, we were doing like kickboxing all the time, and I started getting the gout. So I had to go vegetarian the last time we did this, and it turns out that was none of my problem at all. But, you know, it felt good to go vegan for a minute, as bad as my buddies are going to bust on my chops for that. But I did feel good. Yeah. This time, though, my energy levels are way higher than they were whenever I was on the veggies. Way higher. Way higher. Like, totally different being on the meat versus the veggies.
Wow.
I'd recommend it to anybody.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
You ought to do it, man. Just
10 eggs a day.
It depends on how hungry. I try to eat whatever my goal weight is. I'm trying to eat a gram of protein. So right now my goal weight's 215, and right now I'm about 240. So, and I'm down about 13. I started off about 254, 253. So I would love to get to 215. If I get 215, I'm feeling pretty good, you know. So I'm eating 215 grams of protein a day.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of food, dude. I'm an eater. My name's Pudge. It's a lot of food. Like, I'm eating a shit ton of food.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about, I'm having a steak, couple chicken thighs, and what?
Yeah, but I haven't ate. I had like 10 shrimp. I'm talking raw grilled shrimp. I had like 10 shrimp and a chicken thigh for lunch. And that's all I've had today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, other than water and coffee.
Oh, so that's when you're talking about steak and chicken thighs and eggs, but that's all the compilation of your day.
No, I will go home and eat 2 chicken thighs, a steak, and probably half-pound shrimp tonight. But see, I got to get the calories, right? I got to get those. I got to get those. I only had like 80 grams of protein earlier whenever I had the thighs and the shrimp and the 10 shrimp.
So you're gonna have to get a quick 135 grams of,
which is probably about 1,100 calories.
Wow.
So that's how I'm running it.
So how many calories is off of that diet you reckon daily with 215 grams of?
Probably. Well, I track it. It's about 1,700, 1,800.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
I track it every day.
Huh.
So, but I mean, man, I used to go. I could go eat 4,000 or 5,000 calorie lunch.
No. Yeah. No, I know that.
You know, I'd go to a buffet and just get down. Yeah. I mean, just go to a Mexican buffet, just 4 plates.
Here come Jason, shut the thing down quick.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They're going to make us go bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. They knew whenever our bunch showed up. What else you want to talk about? Anything?
Well, the matter, man.
Doesn't matter.
I got a few more minutes. Otherwise,
yeah. Let's see how long we've been here. Yeah, you've been right at an hour. That's where we like to keep them. Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to come back for a second one?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Whenever you get some free time.
You just got to carve it out and get on the calendar. That's
right.
how we roll.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Let's get you on the books. And where can these guys find you at?
Hey, you can find me at thedannyhines.com. I just went through. I ain't got paid people to take care of my website. It's me. So I just went through, and I have bookings all the way through December, but that's a little lengthy. I just went through and did till August. But you can catch me there. You can check me out on Instagram. Follow me if you like. The Danny Hines, my handle there. So
TikTok.
You can find me that way too. I need to get on the bandwagon.
I've had on TikTok.
I got this thing with a coworker, a daily joke, and I look on there and sift through all the dirty jokes to get to the clean one that I can share. So I have some other things, but I know I need to get on there.
Yeah, you gotta get on TikTok.
Post some stuff.
Yeah, is it the Danny Hines too?
I think so.
Right.
And you can find me on YouTube, the Danny Hines. Okay. Danny Hines. You can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you consume your digital music. I'm all over it. Good. So yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Danny Hines.
Right on.
All right. See you.